Today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys the top 5 classes to be using in the Season 1 mid update. Starting things off with the XM4. The XM4 is just always going to be in the top 5, I feel, and this gun's never going to be terrible. It's just, there's a reason why it's G8 in rank, put it that way. So, with that being said, let's start this one out. The optic, you guys want to make sure you have the Kepler, muzzle, you want to make sure you have suppressor, barrel. It used to be the long barrel, but this time we're using the reinforced. Now I'm going to show you guys the gunfighter setup, and then I'll show you the one word 5 if you want to use a specialty setup with the perks. So I'm going to go through the gunfighter one first. Next thing you guys want to have is the vertical foregrip, the rear grip. You guys want to have the commando, magazine. You could use extended mag 1 or the fast mag, but I like having the 45, so that's the one we're going to be using here. Let me switch to the wild card with that one, and then we're going to be going over here. You want to make sure that you have the buffered weight stock, and then for the fire mod, recoil springs. Now if we take this into the firing range, you guys are going to see that this thing has absolutely no recoil. And even at the 50, there's no recoil. Personally, using the gunfighter is the way to go, but if you guys don't want to do that, the only difference you're going to do is you're going to remove the vertical, you're going to move the extended, you're going to remove the recoil springs, and that's going to leave you guys with your 5 attachments. Taking this into the firing range, you're going to notice it still has a controllable recoil. It's just that having the extra attachments makes a big difference. Moving on to class number 2, we're going to be looking at the C9. Now the C9 is still a top contender since the game launched. At some point I'm sure it's going to be nerfed, but for now you might as well get the most out of it and abuse this setup that I'm going to show you guys right here. Starting things out with the muzzle, usually I would use the suppressor, but this gun needs the compensator. The barrel, before it was the long barrel that everybody was using in the beginning, but the reinforced is better because you get the bullet velocity, and the damage range between the both of these are identical. Underbarrel, vertical foregrip, magazine, you could run extended mag 1, but there's no point because you're getting the reload quickness con, so you would want to make sure that you guys are using the flip mag for this one. Now, there's an option here for the 5th attachment. You could do a rear grip or a stock. If you're going to do the rear grip, I'd recommend the CQB grip, but for this one, we're using a stock, and the stock we're going to be using is going to be the balanced stock. Taking this one into the firing range, you guys are going to see that in up close to mid-range, this gun is going to dominate. Class number 3 is going to be the KSV. This gun has been decimating since the launch, and I'm sure like the other two, like I said, it will eventually get a nerf, but right now this gun is definitely one of the top tier ones that you guys want to be looking out for. The muzzle on this one, we're going to be using the ported compensator. Now that's different from the compensator that I used on the C9 and suppressor like I normally do. This one definitely needs the ported compensator. The barrel, usually, like I said, it's going to be the reinforced. This one, you want to make sure you have the long because you get the additional damage range. As these guys can see there, it's 2 on this one and 3 on this one, so long barrel is the way to go. Underbarrel, you guys want to use the vertical foregrip. The magazine, we're going to be using the flip mag. Rear grip, you want to make sure you have the CQB. Stock, we're going to be using the balanced stock, and the final attachment for this one is going to be the recoil springs. This is a gun that I feel like you really need gunfighter on because it has a weird recoil pattern. The first couple shots are weird, so that's why we put on the ported. And I'm going to show you guys in the firing range, but like I said, definitely you want to make sure that you have gunfighter on when using this gun. As you guys can see here, there's literally minimal recoil from mid to close. Last number 4 is going to be the good old AS Val. This gun is one of my personal favorites to use, which you guys will see a gameplay at some point on the channel with this one where I drop a nuke with it. Starting things out with the barrel, you want to make sure that you have the suppressed long barrel, under barrel, like every other one of my classes, vertical foregrip. The magazine for this one, I put on mag 3 for the 45, but that's just a personal preference. You guys could do whatever you want, but for me, the magazine with the 45 is the way to go. For the rear grip, normally you would use the CQB, but for this one, I decided to go with the commando grip. Now CQB is more towards SMGs, but when you use this gun, it doesn't really seem like an AR. That's why I said it would be the way to go for this one. But me personally, the commando grip is going to be the one that you guys want to use for the ADS and the sprint to fire. Like I said, when you use this gun, it does not feel like an AR at all, especially when you're running and gunning. It just feels like a sub. So the CQB could be interchangeable with the commando grip, but commando is the one we're using on this class. Then the next thing we're going to be looking at here, now you guys could use a stock if you want to use gunfighter, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to go right to the fire mod, and we're going to put on the recoil springs. Taking this gun into the firing range, you guys are going to see right here. This gun is just absolutely nasty up close to mid, and you could even get longer shots in. As you guys can see there, it just kills so quick, and it's such a good assault rifle. The final class they're going to be looking at is going to be the AK-74. Starting things off with the optic, you guys want the Kepler Microflex. The muzzle, we're going to be using a suppressor. The barrel, we're going to be using the reinforced. Underbarrel, the vertical foregrip as always. And then for the magazine, you guys are going to want to use extended mag 1. Now you could change it up. You could use the 50 mag if you really want to, but you're going to get hit with the cons of the ADS, reload quickness, sprint to fire. So that's why for this one, we're using extended mag 1 because there's absolutely no cons. Now this is going to be the 5 setup build. If you guys want to go ahead and use gunfighter to make this gun even more broke than it already is, rear grip, you want to have the commando grip on, the stock, balance stock, and then for the fire mod, even though it doesn't need it, the recoil springs, which will make this gun have less recoil than it already does. Overall though, like I said, the 5 attachments is going to be the way to go, but if you want to make it overkill, you could use the gunfighter attachments like I said. We're going to take this one into the firing range though, and as you guys can see here, it gets a little weird at that range. That's why the gunfighter comes in handy, but most of your gunfights are probably going to be like mid-range, depending on the map. So if you're shooting further, you can always tap it like that. But up close and mid-range, this gun is just going to get the job done. That's going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.